There's a slight SpaceX theme in this video with this LED neon space rocket. It's very stylish. What's particularly interesting about it though is that although it's using the standard, well it is standard these days, rubber LED neon laid into a frame, it changes colour, so we've got a red section here and a red section here, but it appears to be incorporated into dedicated rubber strip. It's also got a battery operated base, but let's take a look at this. So I'm going to bring the lights back. Watch your eyes. As delivered, the ornament comes with a battery operated base that takes 3 AA's. Good choice, AA's, as opposed to the ones that sometimes use AAA's. It does not have a USB input though, which is a shame. That would have been quite handy. It has a couple of contact springs, and then the bottom of the ornament itself, it's got these metal pads, and when plugged in, it's keyed to prevent it going the wrong way around. When plugged in, it lights up. It's not super bright under the floodlighting, but at night time it's extremely bright. It's a very good silhouette of the outline. So this came from eBay. It's described as LED rocket-shaped neon light, colourful wall lamp, Christmas decor, blue red. And apparently they do them in other colours. They do them all red, pink and white as well. Not sure about the pink one, given its slight resemblance to an unremovable butt plug, but that's a minor technicality. The price was £9.56. It took less than a month to arrive. That's pretty good. Quite a small box. I was expecting it to be somewhat bigger, but that's okay. It's fine. The seller was Quimp Services, Q-I-M-P Services, but there are lots of other sellers of these, so you'll probably find one locally if you search for LED neon rockets. Let's take a look at this. So I shall unplug it, and we'll start by taking a look inside the base. I don't think there's going to be much in here. It's got that little hole for the screw to stop kids getting into the batteries, but having said that, there's no screw in it, which is good. I find those quite annoying, but it does latch in, it does click in, which is good. Some of those annoying battery holders you get, that it's got that screw position, but the only way you can hold it shut is with the screw. Let's see if we can pop this open. I guess I don't see any screws. No, not yet. There probably are. I'm probably bursting something right now as we speak. Oh, there is a resistor. That suggests that there may not be resistors in this neon material. So there is a resistor with a value of green, brown, gold. That's 5, 1, and a multiplier of 0.1. So it's actually 5.1 ohms. Let's just double check that to make sure I've got that right. We'll bring in the meter. We'll set it to 200 ohms. And allowing for about half an ohm or so of the meter itself, it should be roughly 5-ish, 5 to 6 ohms. Wait for it to catch up. Yep, 5.5 ohms, that's reasonable enough. It is a 5.1 ohm resistor. So not a lot in there. They could have, I suppose they could have put they could have used a neon, not a neon, a USB power supply in this, but they didn't. However, if you wish, you can adapt this. Let's take the base off. I think the base is glued in this. Let's use the reverse pliers technique by putting the pliers in and just lifting up to see if we can break the... Oh, there it goes. Excellent. And here we have the connections. I suppose this could be reused, this base, for other things. Both go onto one end of the neon. I thought they might have actually put, particularly if there's no, if there are no resistors, which we'll find out because I'm going to cut this open. I thought they might have just put one connection on one end and one the other, because that kind of shares the current along the full length. However, let's slice into this, particularly where there's a transition, and see what the tape looks like, because this looks like it's been custom made. Let's see if I can not slit my fingers or destroy the tape in the process. So I'm going to slice it up here. This is quite a precarious thing to do. I may pause while I do this if it's going to take any length of time, but initially I shall try just doing it like this and not slitting my fingers in the process. Let's see if I can destroy the tape. Is it coming out? It's not coming out. It's all right, I'll make it come out. Just bear with me here. You can skip forward if you get bored waiting for me to slice this open in a precarious manner. It is one of those sort of slit your fingers type of scenarios. Oh no, look at that. I've really chewed up the tape. It's ruined. I've actually split it clean in two. Or is it because... Right, tell you what, I'm just going to pause momentarily and just spend a bit more time trying to get this out. One moment, please. Well, it's wrecked now. It is custom populated tape. They've got the blue LEDs and then they've got the red phosphor coated blue chips. So if I turn this on, you can see that it goes from the blue straight to the red transition just for that section in there, and then it goes back to blue again. So it is a custom tape. So I wonder if they've actually made it up in specific lengths just for this. It's also worth mentioning that it is the kind of almost like old-fashioned stuff now. It's got the little bus bar wires inside it. A lot of the modern stuff doesn't have that. But I suppose in the sense that they're using it at low voltage, that would kind of help for that. But there we go. Now, let's see. I wonder if I could actually fit new tape into this. Right, one moment, please. I'm just going to go and see if I can find some 12-volt tape and stick it into this shape. I'll be back in a jiffy. Can we hack it? Yes, we can. It turns out this frame seems well suited to taking the 12-volt stuff that you can cut every inch. This is the stuff that has this 1-inch markings along it, and it operates at 12 volts. And as long as you push it right into the corners of this frame, the 6mm thickness fake neon seems to fit quite well. It fits in quite snugly. And if I then place this over the base, I've already soldered a connector onto the end here and cut a little slot in the plastic. I should just push that in with a screwdriver to make sure it stays put. I shall put this back on. I'm not going to glue it back on right now. I shall plug this in, and there we have it. That is quite bright. Let me just take the light off. That's pretty good. I could show you what it actually looks like by taking the exposure off, and then it's just going to, yeah, see, that is what I was expecting. It's swamped out. But it is actually a bit ferocious. I might actually, you know, if I was using this, I might put a couple of diodes in series to underrun it. Not sure where the current is because I can't really test that right now. I've got it just plugged into a plug-in power supply. But it's looking good. It's looking quite ferocious. It's quite neat. A nice glowing orange like a heat element. Quite a good result. So watch your eyes, I'm bringing the light back. So in summary, the original LED that came with it was pretty good. It just kind of begs for a modification to the base just to actually remove the battery contacts for safety, keep a resistor in, but maybe perhaps drop it with a diode as well just to drop the voltage down, and use a USB power supply. Because the original red and blue version was pretty good. But having said that, converting it to the 12-volt stuff does give other options. You know, it's a pretty neat result. It gives you then loads of different colour options, and in many ways 12 volts is also quite handy for running it. Or you could try and source some of the 5-volt stuff and just use that with a USB power supply. It's kind of hard finding the stuff that's got the resistors built in. The 5-volt stuff just doesn't seem to be available to us yet, but I'm sure it will in the future once they've kind of got the market established for it. But as it is, it's quite a nice outline. It's a nice little spaceship or rocket. It looks pretty good. So I'd say this is a win.